Welcome to a very special edition of the What Ya Been Watching podcast, the anniversary edition.
Yes, sir.
Of the What Ya Been Watching podcast. This is our fourth anniversary? Going into fifth year?
4 years. Yeah, we always say, Mike will be like, it's 5 years. We're going into our fifth season. So we've been doing this for 4 years officially. Okay. So, yeah. But we are starting season 5 right meow. So,
as always, I am your host, the marvelous and elated Mike D, joined as always by my cohort, and youngest brother,
MD3, Marcus Dudley, checking in on the YOU. What's going on out there in podcast land? We are broadcasting live from the Lake Jackson studios of What You Been Watching Studios fame. You know what I mean? We're down here in the trenches, in the muck, as it were. I know there's some cities in Florida that call themselves Muck City, but we'll just be the muck area of Tallahassee.
Out here with the snapping turtles and the
gators.
Them gators.
My question to you is, where you from you don't know gators? You scared of that pretty little thing? Why you scared of gator?
You got to come to this gator like a predator.
Yeah, not like. Anyways, how are you today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. As a side note, I had a hell of a drive getting over here. People in this town drive very counterintuitively. Like, I almost, some dude tried to merge into my lane while I was occupying the space. I mean, people stopping short. Like, just be out there. Like, when you're driving, please be aware. It was so bad I had to start my YouTube video over again
because I was playing on my phone, but I was in my lane. Bro, just look how many people play on their phone while you're driving. It's just a series of people glancing up while they're operating a death machine nowadays, dude. And I'm just as guilty. Yeah, so be careful out there, Michael. Yeah, anyway. I had to restart my video. I was watching that shit, but I was in my lane, and I look up from my video. I was laughing comically, and all of a sudden, some jerks merging into me. The audacity.
All right, there's some homeless dude staring in front of me, looking at me like I'm the asshole.
Yeah, so what? I'm on the sidewalk. Have you seen this dog chase this snow?
I always have a great joke that I love to bring to work sometimes on new people. They're like, "Oh, how you doing, Mike?" I'm like, "Oh man, I had a really rough day, man. I almost hit a dog on the way here." And they're like, "Oh my God, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was really high up on the sidewalk too." So it was. You should have seen the look on the old lady's face.
Yeah, we'd leave them laughing. If you want to write in horror tales to us of Michael's driving, you can write us in on our Gmail at whatchabeenwatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Where else can they find us, my brother?
You can find us online at Dudley Bros Podcast on Facebook, or you can find us at the gram at What Ya Been Watching, or we are also finally on the YouTubes at WBW Podcast.
That is very right. And check out our shorts. We are also uploading the archive currently. Right. We are going to work on video this upcoming season. Right.
Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, notifications, all that good stuff. I know I feel like a shill saying it, but it really does help us. And we're trying to, take this thing to new heights and elevate our listening audience.
No, it is true, sadly, because there's certain things we can only do that we would like to do once you get X amount of subscribers and so on and so forth. So there's a couple little gatekeeping things that...
mostly getting paid.
Just sense of community also, which leads to that, sure. Whatever. It is what it is.
But also Joe Rogan amounts of money.
Yes, of my money. But who will not gatekeep the flavors for your ear? Mr. A1.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime you hear our interlude music, you already know that that's coming from the man himself, Mr. A1. You can find him at a1reality.music@gmail.com. I've been telling y'all for 3.5 years now, or however long he started, but whatever, 3 years now. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you got custom music that you need, reach out to him. Again, that's a1reality.music@gmail.com. The man has got the flavors for you. The man sings, the man raps, the man does beats. What else does he do, him Duddies? He's a quadruple threat.
I heard he was a cobbler.
Cobbler?
Yeah.
Like blackberries and blueberries?
I meant shoes, but also that.
I bet he makes a mean cobbler. You know what I mean?
He makes a mean shoe cobbler.
Yeah, man, I bet.
It's just a shoe casserole with shoes.
Anyways. Man.
Some pie crust on top.
Yeah. Well, by the time this comes out, we'll have updated ourselves into the NFL postseason, which the Eagles will at least be a part of. They didn't win the division. So
Go Birds.
I do get my token of appreciation amongst my friend. We have an ongoing bet that if his team wins the NFC East, the team that shall not be named, I have to go spend my hard-earned money on some dumbass Dallas Cowboys stuff, right?
I love that you said they shall not be mentioned.
And then I can't help myself.
Spat their name out of your mouth.
Yeah, but it's going on for a couple years now, and so I win this year, so it's nice. It's nice. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like we just text like he sent it to me before. You just text the address, and you're like, asshole. Yeah, I'll send it. Like I'm mad at the lady at Ross thought I was a Cowboys. She's like, oh, you're a big Cowboys fan. I was like, not at all.
No.
Let me explain this bet.
I just make poor betting choices.
Yeah, I was mad at the lady. Like she's like, tap or swipe, please. I'm like, yeah, hey, tap or swipe. Hey, I know. Begrudgingly buying blue and white stuff. Yeah, get out of here. I do this to myself though. Yeah. But other than that, you all right though, man? You made it through the holidays all right?
Yeah. Just trying to slowly recover, man. Rotten kids got all my money.
Yeah, that's what they do, man.
That's what they do. But
So-
it was worth it. I got some cool swag too. You know, like it's. I'm so easy to buy for. Like if you just give me like cash or a gift card or something, because like I'd much rather just go get the thing I want anyway. Or spend it on, you know, getting my tires fixed or not having to worry about groceries for a couple of weeks or something like that. You know, like
Agreed. You're also pretty. I mean, if you get something that's not one of those, you're always pretty appreciative, which is a good trait.
Sure.
So,
I mean, like I'll never turn down a good pair of socks. Like I always need socks.
who doesn't?
Right.
While we're on the subject of me buying rivalry gear, you want to tell the people what I got you for Christmas?
No. Oh yeah. Marcus went out of his way to get me a Mario Lemieux Penguins jersey, and I really appreciate it. I'm looking for an opportunity to wear it. I've actually never worn like full on hockey jersey before, so I'm looking for an outfit that's going to match it.
It's one, don't dry it because you'll fuck it up.
Don't dry it?
Yeah, just hang it.
Okay.
Take it out of the thing and hang it because that's what messes up the And secondly, I'm again not that big of a but Michael was a Penguins fan growing up because of Michael. I think you told me the story of he was just not Gretzky because everyone was in on Gretzky.
Right.
And I happen to have a Flyers pennant. And back in the day, like Sega Genesis, like hockey games were a really big deal, which we've told
still are.
Yeah, we've told that story before. And so I spent my hard-earned money on the Philadelphia Flyers hated rival Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. But it is one of those things that I showed it to somebody else. They're like, are you sure this isn't a gift that you want? I was like, you're right. This is a very me thing. But trust me, I wouldn't have bought this for Michael if I hadn't had a conversation because I remember saying like, yeah, I almost got you one. And you go, oh, I'd fucking love one. And I was like,
good indicator.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because they're not cheap.
Right.
So, but well, happy holidays or whatever.
Yeah.
It was dope though, man. I got it for cheaper than they usually are. So I was like begrudgingly like, all right, well, if I am going to buy this, thank God it's not going to be the full price at Mitchell and Ness and Sweat.
Right. At least I got it on a discount.
Yeah. But it was authentic. It's got the Stanley Cup patch and everything.
I definitely did not spend as much money on your gift. I got to be honest with you.
That's all good, dude. It ain't about that. Honestly, if you weren't you, I wouldn't have done it for anybody else probably. So.
Yeah, much appreciated. Love it.
Yeah, so.
Got to get the fit right. Now I just got to get a hat to match.
It's all black and yellow. Just get Wu-Tang sneakers.
I know. I love that Pittsburgh was just like, we know what we're doing. All sports teams, black and yellow. That's it. Just run. Just you know what city we hail from.
It does make it easy. I will say that it does make it easy. Well, anyways, man. On that note, before we check in, let us take a little bit of time to discuss one of our most beloved actors and directors.
That's right.
To grace this fine medium of cinema. Michael, I know that Princess Bride is one of your favorite films of all time. We've talked about it many, many times on this podcast. So without reviewing The Princess Bride, at least I'll give you a snippet here or there. Would you like to talk about the tragedy of Rob Reiner and just his body of work and show some appreciation for him?
I would love to. When Rob Reiner was killed, we lost one of the greatest auteur directors of our generation, one of the greatest filmmakers of really any the past couple of generations. I mean, if you just look at his body of work, it was so diverse. I mean, obviously, you mentioned The Princess Bride, but then there's also Stand By Me.
Great
and
movie.
When Harry Met Sally.
Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap. And I mean, that's just the hits. That's just, that's the big swings. I mean, you look at his work on All in the Family and how influential that show was. I mean, that was a show where everything was very much, like I Love Lucy or like Ozzie and Harriet. It was very, very saccharine, very, very chaste, very, middle of the road, like non-controversial. And then here comes, something like All in the Family that's tackling issues like racism and transgenderism and abortion and racial, tensions in not even just within the neighborhood, but within the same building.
Right.
They brought in George Jefferson as the, uppity neighbor who was probably just as equally racist as Archie Bunker was, and it was flip sides of the same coin in terms of like, you guys are both idiots.
Yeah, certainly prejudice in mind, in the sense of they never really took the time to extend the bridge of understanding. They're just kind of like, oh, it's how it is. So yeah.
Or at the very least,
like whether I don't know if they actually have hate in their heart for the other race.
No.
But certainly prejudice and stereotypical in terms of their perceptions.
Sure, I think that at best they had a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Or maybe just, comedic one-upsmanship in terms of like, you got me there. I almost said a bad word. But I'm going to get you back, you other bad word. Yeah. Sorry, I was...
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. We knew you were going with the silent. Yeah, no, we got you. But yeah, no, I just figured you want to talk about it, man, because he was one of yours, and I know he was pretty vocal about some things that a lot of people didn't agree with, which whatever. I mean, I know South Park made fun of him pretty good with the like non-smoking thing and whatever, but that never really bothers me as an artist. Like, dude, if you have a platform and you want to take that time to talk, like, I've never been, as they say nowadays, the term is like a shut up and dribble kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever, man. It's your platform. As long as, if you're doing that and you're putting out good work, and, as long as it's not something I can't entirely disagree with this on a fundamental basis. But if you want to spend your time getting people to quit smoking, like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, so it's whatever. I know South Park, the whole my goo. Like, that shit was funny to me, man. But even then, they would probably say that they're huge fans of his work. Like, those guys make fun of people that they're fans of. You know, so
it's okay to make fun of your heroes. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. Tragic loss. I mean, you look at a guy who, you something like The Princess Bride, where it's this very, 1940s, 1950s swashbuckling, everything's filmed on a Hollywood soundstage kind of thing, but it all looks fantastic. It's a very believable, lived-in world. And then you go something to like Stand By Me, where it's this very touching coming of age, almost like alternative film. Like it very much does not follow the tropes of normal film. It's almost...
It has an indie feel to it.
Yeah.
We've said this on the podcast before. Like, clearly things take place on screen, but like not a lot happens in Stand By Me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's boys walking.
Yeah. Yes, events happen, but like there's not a lot there. It's
right.
Like, all right, cool. Like, you look at Swingers, you're like, I don't know, dude breaks up with his girlfriend, he goes hangs out with Vince Vaughn, they go to nightclubs. Like that. Right. That's exactly. The plot. It's pretty heavy on charisma.
Yeah. Stand By Me. One dude goes, "Do you want to see a body?" The other kids go, "Yes." Then they go see a body.
Yeah. Then they go, yeah.
Meanwhile, they grow and change along the way, but
Yeah, and Jerry O'Connell was there.
That's right.
So he was in Joe's apartment. So I know that. Anyways, we lost one of the greats, so I just want to bring that up here.
Oh
so,
my God! You look
rest in peace, man.
Spinal Tap. Just how
You've never seen that movie?
You've never seen it, Marcus? It is very. It's almost Monty Python-esque.
Oh,
in terms of it's just so absurd and just one rapid fire joke right after the other. And so like, even if that joke, you don't get it or it's not funny, there's another one coming like 10 seconds later.
I know for a fact that it is a lot of, for a fact, I know people. So factually, yes, I guess it is their favorite comedy. Right. And so anytime somebody gives me something like that, where I'm like, it's my favorite comedy of all time, I'm like, okay, that. And even I've seen parts of it because it's been on at parties and stuff. Again, it doesn't do it justice, but I remember I've seen a lot of sequences from it because it's a series of improvisational actors that don't really have a script. That's where you get like Harry Shearer, who's the voice of Ned Flanders, and like a million guys on The Simpsons.
Right. Yeah.
Them just doing some of their best work. And so, you know, it's one of those movies that's so big that you know it without even knowing it.
Sure.
You know, kind of like, that's why I never saw Gladiator for so long. I was just like, I feel like I know this movie without actually watching this movie. And again, it doesn't do, the whole mockumentary style was really groundbreaking at the time. But anytime someone goes, yeah, that's my favorite movie, it's like, it kind of, and then especially when you can see why, even just off the little bit that I had seen, it's like, I get it.
And then you bring in the fact that everyone involved is a really talented musician. And so it kind of goes the Dewey Cox route where, like, yes, the songs are silly and fun, but they're also kind of really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, I just was talking about Dewey Cox the other day to my friend, and I was like, it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah. It's a great comedy and also a great musical.
Yeah. So rest in peace to one of the greats, Rob Reiner.
Oy, meathead.
Yeah. Oh, before speaking of Stand By Me, this will parlay. I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to ask you a follow-up question after that.
Okay.
Michael, why people tune out for going on 5 years now? What you been watching? And also, did you watch the season finale of It, which you promised the people that we would get back to the episode 8 of Welcome to Derry?
I did.
Okay, let's start there then. How about that?
Yes, I did.
Pardon me, I just wanted to guide that question so we
you're
could
good.
have some follow-up for the, because I'll forget.
Yes, I did watch it. I got to say, I really kind of wish it would have ended on season 7.
On episode 7?
I'm sorry, episode 7. There was a necessary wrap up for this episode. Like there was certain threads that they needed to tie together, but then everything after that was just sort of not a bit much, but just superfluous, I guess, or just not. Everything after that just ends up raising more questions than it ends up solving.
Yeah, and I put it in our short, which, by the way, if you have seen some of our shorts, thank you to those who have been watching them. We've actually got a little traction on those, so it's very cool. We had over 2,000 views on the Avatar one, so thank you for that. And it Welcome to Derry as well had a little bit of hits. But yeah, man, the series finale, I do agree with you. It did, and usually, like I said on that short, I don't care about things that bring up more questions that I never cared to ask in the first place. However, with the grand lore of the Steve, as somebody who's very, very, not familiar with all of Stephen King's work, and also I wanted to pivot into Stand By Me. I think the dead body they go see is from one of the Derry sewers, I think, is connected.
I've heard that rumor, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's part of the reason why I wanted to parlay it while we were talking about it. I like the lore of Pennywise the Clown, and I like learning more about him. And I do agree that we talked about penultimate episodes are really good because when you get to the final episode of a prequel series, certain things have to happen. Like, again, we've talked about episode 2 and 3. Like, episode 3 is like the Jedi Council got to be disbanded. He's got to become Darth Vader. Yoda's got to go to the
Luke and
Dagobah.
Leia have to be born.
Yeah, like there's certain things that have to take place, so it kind of takes some of the punch out of at least the plot structure. The saving grace for this episode to me, Bill Skarsgård.
Oh,
when you get him unhinged in 7 and 8, that was. He's like, time's going forward, going backwards. It's all the same for old little Pennywise. Like, I love that. How it's his birth.
I missed you.
Yeah. And he's talking about your dear old daddy. That was in episode 7.
Right. The flashback episode where whatever the Deadlights creature chooses Pennywise as its new form. That was so good. It's just this little like latchkey kid or like this little Dickensian like, please sir, like that's the form that it's chosen, and then it sees what's his name, Bob or whatever. Bob. He's like, the children are drawn to you.
But sticking to episode 8 though, you are right though why he chose that form. But it's also he's low key in the creepiest way, fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
really what he's doing is he knows that the gate is broken, which again, the rules of the gate kind of annoy me. Like there's always things in TV shows that are just like, okay, you say so, whatever.
Right.
Like
they did sort of like, they found the one marker just to destroy it, just so they could find the knife, just so they could lose the knife consistently, just to end up putting the knife where the thing was.
They never shoot. They kind of shoehorned in like the Sauron, like it caused to be put away and go back home, but never
like previously never mentioned.
Yeah, when like the whole Indian tribe that they had before, Native American tribe, my fault, I don't know whatever's correct anymore, whatever. They never mention that. They're like, oh, we've been using this dagger for decades or centuries to protect ourselves. Like,
hey, by the way,
oh yeah, that's why it's
it's going to put some weird thoughts in your head, and you're not going to be able to physically move it to the space you want to. It's going to take all your friends and the power of love.
Yeah, which Richie coming back, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
to help
I did
that.
too.
But I was going to say the fearful part, and why also Pennywise is so funny is because it's terrifying, but it's also hilarious. And the fact if he goes to the school. Now that he can go infect Derry, and the first thing he does, he's like, "I want all you kids," and he's really taking them as a meal on the road. He's like, "I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm leaving these sewers of Derry, and I'm taking a carnival of." And the fact that
a snack,
and he's sitting there playing like he brought enough to feast, and he's playing a tuba for nobody. Yeah, it's kind of hilarious.
yeah, man. Oh yeah, he's in his old school like carnival wagon. Yeah, I love it. It was
eyes just beaming. Yeah, man.
Visually, this is such a great series. I think again it loses a little bit of traction in terms of it knows the jumping off points and it sort of falters in how to get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the whole like Margaret Tozier, I wonder what you'd taste like. And he's sitting there like slinking over her in the snow. He's like, I don't know a Tozier. He's like, well, but you do.
Right.
He's so good. And I could watch him play Pennywise all day. Well, he's so good at it.
Good news. They just got renewed for a new season.
Good. Yeah.
So, and apparently, spoiler alert, it's going to be another prequel going back to the parents of these previous kids.
Again, that's why the whole I don't want to sit there and pretend I know the lore, but how we views time kind of all at once. That's why it's like, isn't my death, isn't my birth? It's all the same thing to old little Pennywise or whatever. And the fact that he's going back to maybe finally make attempts to change the outcome of what is his death or his, like it's kind of just time being a flat circle kind of situation for him, and he's just like, it doesn't really matter. I can still.
Marcus, not everything is Matthew McConaughey related.
I know,
not
right?
everything.
all right. That was Kevin Hart's dad. That was a different. All right. All right. Yeah, I really like the season finale. Again, plot line wise, like, they kind of was like. Added some drama when he starts taking the winged form to go rip. I was like, that's dope.
His dragon form.
Yeah, that's kind of dope, man. And he just skips by. He's like, so long, losers. And he's just skipping. And they're like, go bury it deep in the tree. And really, it's like the second they touch the soil, it's like.
Well, and also the fact that, I mean, the dagger is physically resisting them putting it in the tree to the, like, and then only by the spirit of their dead friend are they able to come together and form the loving bond that is necessary to move the dagger that Native Americans should have been like, hey, by the way, there's like weird physics with this thing. So like, I mean, we've had it for like years. Like we know.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, why not? Hey, why don't you go run it? You know how this works. You people like seem to be in tune with how this whole situation goes. And also, it was just.
I will say
they watch his reaction to the dagger, and he does pull her away from the dagger. But if that was me, I'd be like, we all link hands, we all touch it. Like nobody moves away from this thing at all.
Right.
But the fight between him and a tricky, dicky, that was dope, man.
I did like that. I was going to say,
he was so confused.
I really like the, what's his name? Dick Halloran?
Yeah. Dick Halloran, yeah.
That's the guy to watch, man. That's in a world full of, like, there's no main character in this. I guess Pennywise would be the main character in a weird way.
The group of kids, really. But yeah. He's, he kind of is the main character, though.
I was going to say.
Yeah, he kind of is.
He would be the closest, I would say.
If he's not the main character, he's like a linchpin in terms of
it all like, revolves around him. Yeah. But that actor, man, he is so good. His name escapes me at the moment, but watching him become that character and sort of be transfixed and bewildered by all the seeing dead people and hearing voices, and like every time he gets close to Pennywise, the clown gets in his head and just shows him the most horrible, awful shit.
Yeah, he unlocks his shine box for him,
Yeah.
man. It's cruel. So anyways, do you want to rate the final episode? Because I just know we told the people we get back to
to
episode 8. So.
I'm going to rate it one scurry-ass red balloon with a really, really long string.
I like it. I'm going to... a lot of CGI happens in this show, either behind smoke or fog, and I'll rate it that.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. Which the little behind the scenes thing they show, they're like, oh, clearly there's going to be a lot of CGI. And they did do a good job. It is fun to listen to art directors go, we need something that's going to ground us in terms of location. So let's build this weird looking tree so we know where we are at all times.
Sure.
Across this giant
It's
lake.
something we've talked about before in terms of like if the audience isn't aware of where you are in the space, then they're going to be equally lost.
Yeah,
so
but there's so much fog besides that.
Right. And it's all just ice and blue and white.
Yeah.
And
even in the one shot scene in the black spot fire that happens, there's so much smoke that it's like, it is impressive that you do this one long take, but it's like,
it was really impressive. Yeah.
there's a lot of CGI intercut between
sure.
that, and it's easier to do with the smoke, which the coordination of even just running those is dope. But yeah, I really like the show, though. I'm sitting here picking nits, but yeah, I like the show a lot, man.
What do you rate it?
A lot of CGI smoke and fog.
Yeah, you did that. I'm sorry.
So, all right, what else you been watching, man?
After that, man, I really haven't been watching a whole lot, honestly. I've been kind of really busy working, but I did manage to squeeze in. I've fallen back in love with the Anthony Bourdain series. I just bought his...
Which one?
Both, all of them. I'm kind of jumping back and forth between No Reservations and...
Not Expedition Unknown, but... Parts Unknown?
Parts Unknown. Thank you. I don't know why I blanked on that.
No, you're good. It's all the same. You could have been like...
Yeah, essentially. Well, I think that there is you can see from like the very first episode of his first series to the last episode of his later one, he definitely goes through a journey in terms of being a raconteur to being a director to understanding the visual medium and what looks good and like what people want to hear. Like the very first episode is very much food driven.
Yeah.
It's very much like, oh, I went to this place and I had this thing and it was really good. And then by the end, it's just this sort of like world traveling experience of just soaking in the culture and talking to different people and getting to really understand what it means to be in that space, in that time, if not as a local, at least as a visitor, at least as someone who's experiencing it for the first time.
He's a G. That's all I'm going to say. He's like my mom's hall pass, according to her. She's like, she loves her some Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
He's a G though, man. He's legit. You can tell that he pays reverence wherever he goes, and he tries. If he doesn't know, he asks.
Yeah.
Instead of tries to pretend and fake jacks. Like, well, in America, I'm familiar with this dish, and I was like, he just shuts up and is like, show me how this dish is made.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just enjoys the conversation. He's like, oh, I don't have to cook, but you want to serve me some wine? I get to watch whatever this called. Cool, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, always the first person who's like, oh, this is our local beer. Like, we make it here in town. He's like, cool, give me 3.
Yep.
Let's try it out. Or, like, somehow end up getting invited to some, like, grandma's house, and she's, like, no kitchen, just over a big copper wok in the backyard over a fire pit. And he's like, this is the best meal I've ever had in Vietnam, ever.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's so hot, I can't finish it, but it's delicious.
Yeah, he's a G, like, legitimately.
Yeah. I just got his, I'm rereading his Kitchen Confidential book.
Nice.
If not to turn it into what you've been reading.
Don't you
tread
lightly.
This is not what
Are
we do.
there pictures?
There are.
Okay, well, then just leave it there. Don't expand any further. You can discuss this then.
Okay, good.
So I have strict rules. I apologize. It's me being bossy, but there's a line we don't cross.
There are. Yes, there are pictures. He's a really good storyteller, and it's just snippets of life. So like, it's not like it's one continual story or one continual theme that you have to keep track of. It's just like, oh, and then on this day this happened, and then 6 months later this thing happened. So really, really good book, and he's a phenomenal writer. Very not too wordy, but very eloquent in his choice of words. Like, he knows exactly the right word to drop in. It's not too big, it's not too wordy, but it's just perfect. like the right seasoning.
There you go. See, I feel like that was pulled straight from the pages. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. No, he's like I said. I'm not gonna sit there and just say he's a G, but he really is.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody. He's much like on a very different kind of way, much like the Crocodile Hunter. Like nobody's ever said a bad word about that guy as an entertainer, as a human being. Anthony Bourdain's the same way. It's like you're hard pressed to find somebody. It's like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like,
kind of.
I mean, I'm sure he's been an a-hole to people in just being by nature of a chef and all that stuff.
Sure.
But on the grand scheme of things, most people are just outright fans of his. Being
Sure,
like,
sure.
It's a cool dude.
But he's also my favorite travel writer, companion, whatever you want to call it. Like, I like his visual style over that of, say, like Andrew Zimmern or something like that, because you can tell that Anthony Bourdain is a film fanatic, or at least appreciates a good shot and like a good cinematic aesthetic. Because I mean, there's elements of like he'll shoot us an episode like it's an episode like Taxi Driver, and then he'll do another one that's sort of like jaunty and jumping around like a rom-com or something like that, or something that's when he went to Libya for the first time and it got bombed out, and the Civil War happened there, and he had to leave. He shot that like almost documentary style, like almost war documentary style. So he's. I'm not saying that he himself is responsible for these choices, but the way his show is presented is so visually interesting to me. It's literally like watching a movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's an artist.
Yeah.
More so than just a cook. I just really like the fact if he understands that, like, and this is what's weird, like when you invite somebody like, hey man, I make you food, and this is the thing for those of us that speak the kitchen language, not even just as employees, but those of us that cooking is a part of it. Like, if you want to hang out with my mom, you want to get to know my mom, you hang out in the kitchen.
That's right.
Right? That's what it was. You want to be of service to her, you help her out in the kitchen.
That's right.
Like, hey, what can I do? And she doesn't trust a lot of people.
Right.
I need you to chop this.
Just
like,
offer to wash dishes.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Be like, what needs cleaning?
But for those of us, you know what I mean? He very much so understood the idea of when you cook for someone, there's no greater, like, you're ingesting my creation to be a part of, like, you're allowing me to provide you sustenance for life. Like, and you're actually ingesting and putting in your mouth the very same things that I've taken. And so it's an honorable, that's why I've never understood like and I know a lot of people just view it as a means to an end or just a gig or whatever like that. But it really is when you view it that way in terms of hospitality, in terms of like, I like his take on hospitality, and that's why he resonates with me, even just what little bit I do view of him. So I like his philosophy on it. I'm like, this guy, we see it very similarly. So
food is the only art form that is immediately temporary. Like, it's there, you can't save it. Like, it's an art form that must be consumed literally.
Yeah. So what do you want to rate your, I guess, I don't even know. You just want to rate Anthony Bourdain?
I mean,
or what a legacy he left you with? I don't know.
I saw him speak at Florida State one time, and he was amazing. Like, you talk about a guy that was so captivating, just telling different stories, and he ended up staying for like 45 minutes extra doing, like, he was only supposed to take 2 questions. He ended up taking like 20 of them. It was just
it sounds like
rapid firing them off, and like had no problem. Like,
I just don't want to turn this into ESPN where they're like, somebody will lose, like LeBron James will lose a game, and they'll be like, what does this mean for his legacy? It's like, can we just talk about the game that just happened? Like, that's the most annoying.
I'm pretty sure LeBron James is still going to be rich after this. So
I'll just for those that don't get what I'm saying, like, and again, it was because I watched all that, and I've watched a lot of sports talk. But for example, the one that comes to mind most freshly is the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes had won 3 Super Bowl rings, and if he were to have won the Super Bowl he lost, he would have been the first player, and that would have been the first team ever to three-peat for the Super Bowl.
Back to back.
Yeah. And immediately, instead of talking about the winners first, it was just like within 5 minutes, what does this mean for the legacy of Patrick Mahomes? And it's like
he's still going to be rich with 2 Super Bowl rings? What do you mean?
He quit playing right now, and he's going to walk into the Hall of Fame. Like, that's his legacy.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
he's done things in his life.
Time to get down the old dusty trail.
Right.
Take my satchel of money and just retire and bang my hot wife.
There's only one 7-year stretch in all of sports that you can put this current Chiefs run up against, and it's that of the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Chiefs went to more Super Bowls, but the Steelers won more. And that's it. So it's like your legacy. It's just the dumbest shit ever. So I didn't mean to turn it into, because we're not really talking about a particular show, but I guess review Anthony Bourdain's shows. And
I'm going to review not just a culinary legacy, but an artistic legacy.
there it is. On that note, let's take a break, man. We got some anniversary talk we got to do.
Yes, sir. We got a very particular series of films that we need to talk about.
Involving our sponsor. Our sponsor today is Dudes.
We'll be right back. And we are back from our sponsor, Dudes.
Dudes.
I'm a dude. You're a dude. She's a dude. He's a dude.
We're all dudes, yeah.
That's right.
Anyways.
So, sir, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What you been watching?
All right, before we get into our big one, I did say I would talk about Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Yes.
First off, it's a long-ass movie. And I will say this.
How do they integrate the Pokemon in this one?
Yeah, I know, right? That they should at this point.
Fire and Ash.
Yeah, I get it.
Ash.
But this is the longest post-credit scene for a Marvel cinematic trailer I've ever seen. I'm not sure how they're going to integrate this into the actual MCU, but I just thought
Steve Rogers or Tony
none of
Stark
that
once.
shit. I was like, I guess they're going real cosmic with the next phase. I've never seen these characters before. I mean, it's a rich tapestry over there. They've created a lot of characters over there at Marvel. I don't know what they own and don't own. Disney owns everything. If I drew something on the refrigerator the other day, I think Disney owns it just by
that's it.
If you have an imagination, if you were ever a kid, Disney's like, we own that shit.
That's
So,
right.
I don't know.
Right. Speaking of which, didn't Who Bought Peanuts? Did you see this?
Oh yeah, Sony. Yeah,
Sony
yeah.
just bought the Peanuts franchise.
Yeah, I think the Schultz family gets like 20% of it still, but
good.
it's
Good
owned
for
by
them.
Sony.
Good
so.
for them. Hopefully that means that at least, I mean, they can start marketing into like, if not TV shows, at least like a yearly special or something like that. You know, do something with the franchise.
Make it more international than it already is.
For sure.
I mean, every time I go to a store and there's like Snoopy stuff there, I'm just like, don't ever leave. It's like Ninja Turtles, like don't ever leave. Like I love Snoopy. I love Snoopy.
The staples.
Yeah, I love Snoopy.
The foundations of my childhood.
Yeah, I'm not even like the big, like I appreciate the cartoons for what they are in terms of Christmas classics, but it's not like I have to watch them. I just like Snoopy. I like the comic strip. Yeah. I just like the characters. I just don't ever want to see them go away. And if that means being sold overseas, cool, so be it. Just do right by them, please, Sony. So, but yeah, no, Fire.
What do you think the adults sound like in foreign language?
Oh, let's not. Nice work.
See, did you notice the Italian accent?
I thought you were going to do that bad Japanese one. Like, don't do it.
Oh, I have some class, sir. Come on. I think my joke was funnier than
No,
that.
it was. I was surprised, yeah.
You could tell that joke to your kids.
Yeah, you could. But yeah, let's talk a little Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Please do, because I have not seen this. Quite frankly, I have seen about an hour's worth of the second one and bailed out because I just could not be bothered to give a rat's ass about any of the characters. I did not care.
The second one, it's weird in the fact of it still made a lot of money.
I'm sure.
A lot of money. But there was a 13-year gap between 1 and 2. And so it was one of those, he at least had time to re-envision and reimagine things. There's only been like a 2 or 3 year gap between 2 and 3.
Yeah, because he filmed them back to back.
Yeah, the
right?
production started on one and the other. I don't know why anyone would ever, like, if I missed this in theaters, I doubt I would sit around and watch it on my TV. Just being honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. I never saw Avatar 1 in theaters. It took me a long time. Eventually, on the re-release, I think I finally saw it.
Sure.
But it wasn't in 3D. But that was one of the few times that, like, 3D was kind of just a cash grab at that point. But James Cameron actually was inventing technology to benefit 3D.
They were just doing everything in 3D.
Well, a lot of times there was just shitty conversions, and then they'd charge you $30 for a ticket. And it's like, you didn't even shoot this in 3D. There's no reason for that. You just converted it afterwards, and there's no, like, again, just to add a little bit of depth in the
Schindler's
background.
List in 3D.
Yeah, it's just nonsense like that. But so two, I mean, the plot line of it is, and long and short, is just they unite the water tribe, and like I said, the same Marines that he killed in the first one come back, and
Now they have avatar bodies.
yeah, and then we made the joke on the previous episode that they double down on all their stupid ass decisions. They re-tattoo like Devil Dog and Marine and like shitty tribal tattoos on themselves. Like, I wouldn't change a thing at the second bite of life. Like, they all have buzz cut haircuts and shit. It's just like, y'all are.
You know what? I've never had dreads before. Let me see what I look like with that.
Yeah, and they're like, nope, buzz that shit right off. Crew cut.
That's right.
It's just like when any one thing becomes your whole personality, it's annoying. In a lot of, it's going to sound, I'm probably going to get some shit for this. When somebody's like, the military becomes your whole personality, it becomes a bit annoying to those of us that aren't in it. Respect the fact that you serve. So don't twist what I'm saying, but it's the same thing. If you're like, you're in a conversation, you mention the cars, like, cars, I love cars, and you're just like, God
or
damn.
somebody who's like just coming out of like recovery or something like that. Like they just started the first.
That was me for a while. Yeah.
I know this one very well. Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
well, actually, I'm like, nah, just.
You're like, I'm not in recovery as you fucking drunk.
Because I can stop at 2 drinks, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I really can't. Please give me another drink.
But yeah, so the second one is pretty much they unite the fire people. One of Jake Sully's kids makes a sacrifice play at the end, and he doesn't make it out. But they unite the whales or whatever.
Sweet.
And in this one, the fire people come down from the mountain, and it's they pretty much strike a deal because they see guns for the first time. They're like, oh, I saw it with my dad, who didn't see at all any of the second one, and at first he started asking questions like, why are they? And I was like, like, now's not the time for me to explain it. Which, fair enough to him. He got what I was going at. Be like, I'll tell you later. He didn't ask anymore. So, but we were joking initially that there were people like shooting bows and arrows, and Jake Sully had an assault rifle, and he was just like, I was like, doesn't seem fair at all. And I think the fire tribe noticed that. And we're like, hey, this thing makes thunder. What's up with this?
Right.
Get me more of these.
What's this new word you've introduced us to? Firepower?
Right.
Hey, we love fire.
Yeah. So that's kind of their whole plot, is then they strike a deal with
That's so weird. Like, sorry, side tangent. Growing up, I was like not anti-gun, but just guns were never a part of my life. It was never like a big deal or whatever. Like it just, I wasn't that guy, you know?
Yeah.
When I got in the military and actually like started to learn how to handle guns and got around some like real firepower, like, I mean, I got 50 caliber and 25 millimeter qualified. And I mean, like some big fucking guns.
You shot from a turret though, like
that
are designed to put holes in ships.
Yeah. And then I got it and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah. I'm not that big. I'm not, again, you say anything about guns, people lose their fucking minds. Like, I think we have a real gun culture problem
we do.
in America.
I do.
But again, I'm not anti-guns. You say anything to anybody, and they're like, oh, about my guns. It's you're good. Just two things can be true at once. You can like your guns, we can still have a real problem in the country. Anyways, yeah, pretty much. So the fire tribe is invest with that, and then they parlay that into this weird alliance to track down Jake Sully and eliminate people so they can get that sweet unobtainium, and
which is the worst placeholder.
But it's also they're also after this fluid that's in. It's like a small amount of fluid that's in, not the amniotic sac, but like what's the sac that is around your brain or whatever? Is it the amniotic?
Hell of
Either way, there's a fluid in this.
We ain't scientists, Doc.
There's a spinal fluid in these whales that only like you have to kill the entire whale just to get a little bit. And so it's worth like billions and billions. And so,
it's like ambergris or something.
Pretty
like that.
much, yeah, pretty much. Whatever it is a sweet product. It's Vaseline or whatever.
Some whale oil.
Yeah, and so that's like the super hot commodity now too. And so it's
okay.
So again, 3 is not going to make you a believer. If you liked 1 and you liked 2, you're going to like 3.
Sure.
I watched these simply as I said. Why, if somebody was like, "Oh, you want to watch Avatar?" It's like on a 23-inch TV. Like, if you really want to, I'll watch it. If you love it, you love it. Again, I'm not big on Harry Potter, but again, if that's somebody's nerd, I know that Avatar clearly makes enough money. Somebody's really into this world of Pandora. If that's your thing, no hate, whatever. But I watch it for the spectacle, and this movie delivers in terms of that, almost to the point of it's a bit annoying. There's a shot It's a transition shot after a really big battle happens, and they go to land in safety, right? And when they land, the first shot you see is of a fairly large rock that breaks the surface of a stream. And you think in your mind, you're like, they probably just filmed that somewhere in Wyoming because it looks so real. And then you think about it, you're like, no, wait a second. This whole thing is CGI.
Right.
This is a green screen, and it looks so real. And it just, even a shot like that will make you mad.
This is a sound studio that is covered in green and blue.
And when you look at it, you're like, it would be easier just to overlay a shot of a creek in Wyoming somewhere.
Right, some random...
That was shot there.
Right. Nope. And they're just like, hey, can we just digitally put a big rock in the middle, you know?
No, the whole thing, but they don't do any of that. The water effect, everything is CGI. And you're like, it's fucking annoying. Yeah. She goes to wash paint off of her blue cat face, and the way it runs is just like... The attention to detail in all of it. And so when I say spectacle, I don't just mean the action sequences, which, believe me, James Cameron knows how to do, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the final act is a assault on land, sea, and air, and there's dragons flying out of fire and machine guns going off with flamethrowers, and you're like, okay, it's kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of dope to watch in 3D.
So what I'm hearing is skip the first 3.5 hours and go straight to the last 20 minutes?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then there's like whales coming up from the depths, wrecking shit. And the way even just the ships fold in on them, it's like, this is dope, man. Like, and again, I'm a sucker for stuff like that just because I'm a video gamer at heart. And we were of the time where when a brand new console came out, the first thing, and maybe it's still the same way too, it was like the graphical leap, even just from a regular Nintendo to a Super Nintendo was like, what? And then from a Super Nintendo to the 64 was like, what?
Right. We're like, oh, we have like, I mean, all the images were like polygon and stuff, you know, like stuff like that. Very, very crude renderings, but it was in 3D, and it wasn't just side-scrolling platformers anymore. And you could like move the camera around and explore this whole like virtual world of like, oh, I can just look up and there's the sun, and look down and there's the river, and what happens if I wander over here? Like complete freedom. I know what you're talking about.
And so now, like, and again, that's not to take away when something looks good. Trust me, people still take note, but it does get taken a bit for granted in the fact of the expectations of now new gamers and stuff. You see it running on the PlayStation 5 Unreal Engine is the same engine they're using in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh. So with us, me being able to see these things are visuals that I only dreamed of as a kid.
Sure.
And so for me, it's much like why Michael and I still keep up with the MCU and always will, or superhero stuff, because like we've waited our whole life to see this stuff,
right?
And I'm not giving up on it yet.
Yes.
Like I'm just not.
Yeah.
And
the fatigue has not worn in.
Yeah.
For me.
Like I get
show me more. There's so many other stories I want to see.
Yeah. Like when they get all the toys, all the X-Men, all the everything, all the good guys, all the bad guys in one sandbox and let them play, I may take a break after that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And even then, they're just going to
probably after that, I'll be dead. So
yeah, but you know what I mean? Like
they're going to run this for the next 20 years.
And so for me to see these, for lack of a better term, just graphics and effects, it's still mind-boggling to me because I've waited my whole life for this level of just execution. And then you get somebody like James Cameron, who again, is the plot a bit derivative and kind of predictable? Could they have cut some of the subplot lines? Do I understand the world of Pandora like some people probably do? No. Why Sigourney, spoiler here, why Sigourney Weaver's clone Blue Cat has different powers than the other one, but yet she's like has the special, like, I don't understand any of that stuff. And some of it drags on too long. Why the one fire lady, when she puts her ponytail thing on the other, she has mind control over them? I don't know. I don't care. I just know when James Cameron's like, all right, and they're going to have a sea of dragons fly off of this cliff, and they're going to run into a bunch of Marines firing space guns in the air with harpoons going while whales jump over.
There's going to be a tank.
Yeah, I'm like
big-ass German Shepherds.
Right, flashlights, 2 big-ass German Shepherds. I'm like, take my money. You know what I mean? And I rarely...
We might have Rico Suave make an appearance.
I know,
you know,
right?
Eduardo.
So to me, it's going to hold up, and it does run a little long. The one thing is really cool, they give Zoe Saldana, who is the queen of all franchises, Star Trek.
All hail. I mean, like,
she's...
If you want your franchise to take off, or I'm sorry, if she blesses her presence on your franchise, guaranteed you're going to be all right.
She gets a big emotional arc in this one.
Good.
So she has a lot to do, even though she's not on screen the whole time. And her coming of age of just being like, I hate the Sky People. I hate their pink little hands. I hate it. And Jake Sully's being like, I was one of those people. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, her hate is so real, and watching her, the loss of her, you really feel for her, and the trauma of what happens. Because this isn't, without spoiling too much, a lot of death and a lot of adoption happens in this. And it's, the meaning of family. And you can kind of see where it's going big picture, but they give her a lot to chew on in terms of her character arc overall. Jake Sully is kind of simple in the fact... Jake Sully. His is very simple, and he still is a Marine at his core, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's like a Marine. And that's why her and Zoe Saldana's Navi or whatever butt heads so much.
Sure.
But he is also so...
Natiri.
Yeah, sorry. Navi. I was thinking of Link to the Past, sorry. Or
but also,
Zelda.
they're Navi, yeah.
Yeah, they are the Navi people, yeah. But he's, like I said, he's a Marine at heart, and his big thing is the fact of this world showed him so much more. It gave him such an understanding of his place and thing. The way that this world of Pandora interacts, it's this living, breathing entity. So when it's like, when they say, and it sounds played out like, I see you, it's not just like, oh yeah, like you're here with me in the room. It's some purpose of your existence on this planet. Like, I understand you fundamentally as an entity.
Don't they also they all share the same memories and stuff like that, or they can share the same memories,
like tap into the ancestors, and like there's these, like they did with the tree, and then there's one underwater as well, and whatever. But
gotcha.
So they can, like, the world is this living, breathing thing. And so Jake's big thing is when he's coming into conflict with these new Marines or whatever, he's like, you still don't get it. You're fighting this fight that is so stupid. If you would just understand by embracing this second bite of this apple that you have.
Right.
And he's so...
a literal paradise.
Yeah, it's like you would understand that your purpose is so much more, like, it's so petty what you're doing.
Right.
And it is kind of cool to see him understand his purpose in the sense of, yes, I am a Marine, and yes, like, these Sullys are going to stick together. We don't back down, like, we're going to stick together. But him trying to inform new people of, like, their pettiness on the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool to watch. And so I was surprised by some of the emotional bits. Okay. A teenager has a scene in there that's a little bit pivotal. You're like, is this kid going to hit the delete button? My goodness.
Retro.
Like, yeah, it kind of happens a little fast. And again, there's a lot of subplots that are kind of like, we're still here. Okay. But again,
in terms of like
there's a lot of Sully family members.
Okay, got you. Okay, there's a lot of characters to keep track of.
And the I forget her name, but the new fire lady, the villainess or whatever, she's like very seductive and power hungry and like dangerous on a level that's just like you're kind of unhinged in a way that's kind of like.
I did see the clip that was leaked of. I forget whatever the commander's name was.
Commander Buzzcut.
Right, exactly. When Commander Buzzcut, played by Stephen Lang. Yeah, who was also phenomenal in Tombstone. I saw the clip where he kind of shows Fire Lady the flamethrower and the Gatling gun, and she gets kind of moist for it, and she's like,
that keeps up. The villain's name is Varang, and the lady who plays her is Una Chaplin. She's really good in this too. She's kind of one note in the sense of her motivation is just like, it all burns.
Pure sinister?
Yeah. It's just like...
just evil for evil's sake kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just kind of Gore the God Butcher, like...
burn it all?
Yeah, well, everyone's big on like Mother Earth, or I forget what they call it, but
not Yahweh.
No. Either way, Mother Earth turned her back on. When we prayed and prayed and prayed, we got a volcano that erupted and killed almost all of us. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, okay. So she's a little bit scorned,
little nihilistic,
hell hath no fury. Let's just say,
okay, right.
like a literal scorn of Earth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's kind of her thing. But again, it all just kind of builds and builds and builds till this third act, and then it's a all out just war, and it's like, all right.
Nice.
But again, when you see these visuals of like, is that he's gonna ride the red dragon again, or is he gonna do this? And then it starts rising out of the fire. You're like, all right, it's kind of dope.
Right.
Okay. So again, not gonna make a believer out of you one way or the other. If you are gonna watch it, I don't typically spring for 3D movies. Avatar is one I will, just because if I'm going to do this,
right,
in for a penny, in for a pound, let's engulf it yourself. And so, I did enjoy it. You do feel the length. It is not a fast 3 hours. Okay. Some movies you're like, damn, that. I think Endgame moves at a pretty brisk pace for being 3 hours. You
if
feel
you're
this
going to take a pee break, without giving too much away, when would the best time to take a pee break?
Well, I figured out the best time to do it in anything, and it's directly after a big action sequence. Don't sit there, because what they're going to do, the only thing they're going to do there is catch up on the emotional resonance, which usually you got a couple minutes before they're going to get into it.
Looking forlornly at the dead one, or like there's a montage of them having to recover or whatever.
So when you see scene transitions, just get up and go. But also this movie, this is going to sound kind of mean in terms of plot wise, there's cool things that happen, but there's no... You couldn't leave and come back. You could leave and come back and be like, "Oh, I got it. I'm still there." Maybe it's just because I don't care enough.
The Marines are still fighting the Na'vi. Cool, we're good.
And it's maybe I say that a bit with a bit of skepticism because I don't care enough. I'm like, oh, it's still beautiful to look at. So I don't know. Anytime there's a big action break, there's a little bit of a lull.
Sure.
And so just get up and go. And because usually, and that's most movies, that's just my opinion, they're going to do a bit of a breakdown and recap, and then they're going to talk about what affected you. Oh, you came and saved us. And then they're going to give the motivation for being there in the first place.
They're going to reiterate it at least 2 times before they move on to the next emotional sequence. So, yeah.
And you can also retroactively, if you see somebody do the opposite of what their character is being, you can then retroactively figure out what that character did in that scene, because you're like, oh, that was their arc.
Right. Got you. Yeah.
There's a little trick of the trade for those.
Right. Yeah. So when you got to take a pee, just wait for that emotional content.
Yeah, just go. So I will rate it one gorgeous world of Pandora to look at, which I will. I wish they introduced a couple more new creatures. There's some like wind riders that are kind of like this giant trading caravan.
Okay.
They were kind of cool. They were on screen for a little bit, and it was just kind of cool to see that.
Like kind of bohemian, like...
Just ride around on giant airships. I don't know what bohemian means in terms of... Unless it's a rhapsody. Yes. Yeah, I guess so then, yes. So, yeah, they just kind of sail around the world and go port to port.
You remember, did you ever see Chocolat?
Yes.
Johnny Depp? Mm-hmm. La Boheme.
Oh, okay, yeah. Duh. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It's a good movie, though. Anyways.
That was with... no, not Marion Cotillard. Never mind.
It's Johnny Depp. That's all I need to know. He's delicious in that movie. I'll say that shit. Anyways, yeah, I will rate it one beautiful world of Pandora, which needs to show more of the world of Pandora. When you kind of know where this overarching, I don't know if they're doing 5 or 7 movies, you can kind of see where they're going.
Yeah. Allegedly, they're going for 3 more after this. Well, allegedly.
2 and 3 were shot with post-production, and they pretty much said, we can wrap it up at 3, but if it doesn't do Avatar numbers, we're not doing, because it's such a massive.
Oh yeah, it's not costing them $50 and a handshake to get this movie made. You know what I mean? Like they're jumping, like, just in the promotion alone. I mean, you got to figure they're doing $100 million in advertising alone. So probably production is triple that.
Yeah, it shows they spend it too. There's not a lot of. More often than not, in a movie that's entirely CG, the fact that more often than not I forget it's CG says everything you need to know. Like, you can clearly see, I mean, granted, you're like, I'm looking at a blue cat person, but again, you get so into it and it looks so real sometimes. Every once in a while a shot will go on and be like, okay, that looked a little bit computery, but then as soon as you notice it, it's on to the next, and you're like, damn, the water effect, there's a mist in the air right now. How are you doing that?
I will say, like
there's mist in the theater right now.
As much as I dislike the simplicity of the plot of the Avatar movies, it's visually stunning. I mean, at the very least, you can look at it and just be like, I have never seen this before on film.
Right. When there's like smolder, like they go to the volcano and there's like a smolder in the air, and you're like, it's in the theater with us. In the
smolder.
Yeah.
Look who's been reading. Look at this.
Reading. But yeah, but it's like in the theater with you. You're like, I can't. There's no other movie I can get that experience with.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to me, again, I'm a sucker for it. So we'll stop banging the drum. But yeah, you get my take on it though. Go for the spectacle. So
good deal. All right, man. After that, we got a big one we need to talk about. We kind of hinted at it in previous episodes, but. I guess now it's time to talk about one of our favorite movie franchises of all time. Something that, quite frankly, molded our lives, and we've based this entire podcast around.
A bit.
It's and no, we're not talking about Beavis and Butthead. We're talking about Bill and Ted.
Dude, that's why we said our sponsor today is going to be Dudes. And we haven't done a deep dive in a while, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Bill and Ted franchise and kind of why it works, all right? Now, just a little bit of history in terms of this. I was of the age, I was born in 86. And by the time the first one came out, by the time I had really gotten around to viewing it, it was on home video. And there are certain things in your life that you feel are just kind of made for you.
Yeah.
In my heart, I embodied Ted Theodore Logan. I understood that character. I had the shelf haircut, much like he had.
Yeah.
Just the whole quasi-surfer kind of vibe, just like Cali. Granted, I'm not from California at all, but I understood that character to the point that
also you do bear
a bit of a resemblance to Keanu.
Resemblance to Keanu Reeves. Very tall, dark-haired, big eyes kind of thing,
When I was drinking really bad, there was a guy, he was actually a pretty funny joke. I was in there a little bit, not looking the best. He goes, "Man, you look like what if Keanu Reeves never did movies?" Which is pretty fucking funny if he asked me.
That's funny.
I couldn't help but laugh.
Oh,
yeah.
What if Keanu Reeves just didn't give a shit?
Yeah, I was like, it was a pretty funny joke. But anyway, so yeah, I have always had a
Keanu Reeves, more like Christopher Reeves, right?
I know, right? Anyways, but yeah, so I've always had a liking for Keanu Reeves is one of my favorite actors.
Sure.
I understand whatever, but we're not here to criticize him today, or I rarely criticize him. I speak nothing but highly of the man. In fact,
Apparently so does everybody else.
yeah, he's a fucking, in terms of just being a role model, you could find a lot worse than that gentleman there. So
I can't wait till we find out that he's got like 13 dead bodies in his basement, and like Alex Winters comes out like, "I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew the whole time."
The whole time. Yeah, that would be a shocker. You know what I mean? Especially that guy. But yeah, so I've been drawn to these movies my whole life. I've often imitated him, duplicate until The Pest came around when I found another role model to imitate. So certain times you find yourself in characters at a young age, much like Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. I understood. I'm like,
That's right.
So
here's the journey of Marcus.
Yeah.
Raphael, Keanu Reeves, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, and The Pest. Yeah, it's not much. There's really not a lot of variants. So still haven't really changed.
Now
really.
we're here.
Yeah, and we're here. And then you fast forward 30-something years, and here we are. So, like, these movies meant a lot to me, especially Excellent Adventure. It was a big one in rotation. It was often brought up in reference in terms of that. So, Michael, I know, had similar vibes, as he was not too much older than me, but I don't know, because of the comparison to Keanu Reeves with me as a kid, and just, I would always joke about being Ted Theodore Logan, this one was pretty close to home. So what was your experience with Bill and Ted when it first was around, when you were the age to view it,
I mean, I definitely grew up with both of those movies on the VHS circuit, because, I mean, let's face it, the first one came out, Excellent Adventure came out, and it didn't do phenomenally well, but it really, really found an audience once it hit home video. I mean, again, this is the age of Blockbuster, and finally you could go to a store and find a cassette tape, and you didn't have to buy it, because at that point cassette tapes were $190 a piece.
Yeah.
But you could rent it for $16, brand new release, take it home, watch it over and over and over and over again, wear it out, bring it back, and then go back next week and watch it again. And I think this is really one of the very first instances of a movie that didn't do so well in the theaters becoming a cult hit, other than like maybe Rocky Horror Picture Show, where they had like midnight viewings and stuff like that. But like really, like on home video release was really where it found its audience. And that warranted the second movie, which I also was a little bit too young to see in theaters, but again, because of how profitable it was on the VHS market, that allowed me to watch this movie and really gain an appreciation for it.
Well, let's talk about what you said initially. It was almost a lost movie to begin with. It got shelved. The production company that started it went bankrupt, and then it sat there for like a year, and movie execs didn't get it.
Right. They actually made the movie in like what, 86, 87?
Something like, and
then it didn't get released until 89.
Yeah. And so it sat there for a while in terms of by the time it was, written, produced, everything like that. And then they're like, do people really talk like this? And they eventually released it, and it became a pretty popular. Orion Pictures is the one that came in and did it.
Oh, God bless you, Orion Pictures.
Yeah. And
you brought us everything from He-Man to Bill and Ted.
But I wanted to talk to you about why this franchise works, because I say this as a compliment. while they are not supposed to be B movies, like these aren't necessarily these were never supposed to be like groundbreaking or like good movies. They're supposed to just be entertaining,
Sure,
kind of schlock, but they're better than all the sum of their parts in a weird way.
It was not intended to be like a grindhouse or a midnight movie, matinee kind of thing. It's this weird middle ground of like, let's just put out a stoner comedy and see how it goes.
Well,
it's like,
more on that.
It's a stoner comedy with a twist. Like, what if we just put two dipshits through time travel?
Well, I disagree with some of what you just said.
No, I mean, at its basic most, like the elevator pitch is, what if you put two dipshits in a time machine?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, I get you on that. But we'll talk about the characters and their, I think, their importance in the whole buddy comedy genre, because there is a difference between them and one Cheech and Chong or one Beavis and Butthead.
For sure,
we'll get into that. Part of the reason I think these movies work is there is an authenticity to it. And what people don't know is that the writers of this movie, of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, were doing this in sketch comedy and improv class, and then decided to write these two characters of Bill and Ted into a movie, and then pitched it to the director.
They were doing these characters,
and then
like, I am Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Yeah. Okay,
and they were doing these two characters, and so it comes from not some corporate board going like, we need two characters to be Cheech and Chong, and some think tank going like, I don't know, kids are into ninjas, let's make them three ninjas. You know what I mean? Like, which I love that movie too, but you can smell the corporate cash grab in that. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of an
We got Leslie Nielsen attached.
right.
For some reason.
Right. So there is an authenticity to these films, not only portrayed by Alex Winters and Keanu Reeves, who this was their first role, in the sense of, there's an authenticity also to the fact of they just, in the meta of it all, these two actors just moved out to Hollywood, met each other, both auditioned. Originally, Keanu Reeves had tried out for Bill and Alex Winters for Ted. And then the director was like, these guys' chemistry, they truly get the characters. And then they switched them into the actual roles they're in now, because they're like, you could cast either one they get this at that level. And so, yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Yeah. Wait, so Keanu Reeves was originally... What a weird sliding doors scenario where, like, what if Alex Winters was Ted Theodore Logan and Keanu Reeves was Bill Preston? Wow, that's an interesting... I would actually love to see them, like... If they were going to reboot this movie, I would love to see that reboot. And also, like, aren't they both working on Broadway right now? They're doing Waiting for Godot?
Something like that, yeah.
I think that is it, which is a weird existential, like, minimalist, nihilist play about, like, waiting for death and passing on to the afterlife. Like,
take your word for it.
Trust me, it is.
Yeah, Alex Winters is, I mean, he's been working. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not done a lot of movies, but he's been working.
Sure.
So Michael's like, sure, I don't know it in.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, back to it. So why I think these movies work is, we were talking about the sincerity. We talked about the likability. It's not supposed to be highbrow.
No.
It does not come from a studio mind. And that it does kind of flip some of the buddy comedies. They're not buddy cops, right?
Sure.
And they're not stoners like Cheech and Chong. They're not Beavis and Butthead.
That's true. Hold on. Wait. Like, you're right. They're not stoners in terms of, we never see them smoke weed. We never see them drink. We see their evil versions drink, but
yeah.
But Bill and Ted by themselves are not necessarily pure, but
they're not square about it, but it's not
their deal.
Yeah, like, oh, let's get hammered and go drive around Sandina.
Right. Hey man, I had to follow around my Labrador for like 2 days. They're not that type. Like, Beavis and Butthead are in their own world, very much like Bill and Ted are, right? Like, they're very much, everything's an inside joke to them. They are two bestest of best friends, and all they do is just spend all their time together.
Yeah.
But Beavis and Butthead are oblivious to the outside world to the point that it doesn't matter. Like, whatever happens outside of their realm of existence doesn't affect them at all. Bill and Ted are very much of their own world, but they're also cognizant of the world around them, in terms of, like, we must pass this class, or like, we must save the babes, or
Very true.
You know, existential crisis of like, why are we in hell, and like, how do we get to heaven, and you know, it's they're not so isolated within their own codependent relationship that the world around them doesn't matter.
No, that's actually 100%. That's a very well said. You're right. They are dim-witted, but here's the thing: they aren't stupid in the sense of being just like they're dumbasses. They're just very much so happily and blissfully focused on the wrong things,
Sure.
right? They're like rock and roll and Van Halen and
Right.
blah, that would be totally rad if we could get like. But yeah, they're just focused on the wrong things, and then they do understand the weight of everything when it comes to history, and not only just passing this class, but their role in it that they get a crash course in. And so they
Literally.
they do that. And so while they are dim-witted, they're also, you can't really call them stupid. I guess you can, but they're also incredibly articulate in a weird
Yes,
way.
for
They
sure.
they do know, I mean, just saying a word, because I do it all the time, that you understand to use in context. They can convey their emotions with words like heinous, or, you know, they get kind of a philosophical, I'm trying to think of the other one, resplendent. You know what I mean? Like they say really weird words, bodacious, which again.
Right. But in a weird way, they also show their ignorance, because they'll describe something as most non heinous,
Right.
Which means that they understand the terminology and the vocabulary of the word heinous, but they to describe something as a double negative. Sorry, I'm showing my English major, but like to describe something as both non heinous also shows their ignorance in terms of they don't have a better vocabulary than the things that they've already been presented. They understand the material. They don't have the knowledge beyond that. Does that make sense?
No, you got it. No,
Okay.
you said it well. They're also fun in the sense of in the big picture, I don't really know what they want. They're kind of an anomaly in the sense of most times with most characters, you go, well, what do they want, right? Like at any point in the story, you go, what does this character want right now? And if I zoomed out on Bill and Ted, I think I overthink it, because they just want to be excellent to people and to each other, and they want others to be. Now, granted, in the plot of a movie, from point to point, I could go, they want to get out of hell to go then save the day for the princess, or they want to get an A. Like, I can understand, but in terms of their characters, to overthink it and go like they just. And this kind of goes to the trope of a lot of 80s movies.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so like in a lot of movies that were around that time, for example, when you get the kind of like slacker, whatever, why this duo stands out so well as kind of unique is a lot of those 80s teen comedies relied on like really mean-spirited pranks. Like if you look at like Revenge of the Nerds or Animal House, Bill and Ted are different in the fact of they're actually genuinely nice guys.
Sure.
They love their dads.
Right.
They respect everyone that they meet throughout history. They're historical dudes, as it were, and they treat
Come with us, Miss of Arc.
right, and they treat everything with the sense of wonder and appreciation. So, I don't know, man. They are kind of different in a way.
Right. It is very, and you and I have talked about this, like in terms of in my hero movies, I want my hero to have a sense of wonder that like they are experiencing or have a lifestyle that is completely different than the norm, and that's kind of cool. Like Bill and Ted definitely have an appreciation of like, dude, we're traveling through time, you know, like we're going to meet all these historical figures, but also we got to be back in time to deliver our speech. And just to sort of touch on, like you mentioned earlier, that this movie, like there's no motivation for them. I forget how you worded it, but like, for me, there very much is a motivation for them, especially in the first movie. It's not only do they want to pass their history class so that they can graduate and not go to military school, but also like just on a personal level, they want to be a great band. Maybe not the world's greatest band, but that is, they have this idea in their head that they're going to be, you know, the next Van Halen or Metallica or whatever have you, you know, even if they got to like the Eagles level fame or something like that, you know, they're convinced that they can do it. Now, they don't do anything in the way of actually learning how to play the instruments or write songs or
music theory or really anything to do with general bandering.
Right. But they figure, hey, if we can just cut a great music video with our camcorder, then the world will have to take notice. And so there's a little bit of not necessarily ego, but misguided direction in terms of they have the right idea, but they're going about it the completely wrong way.
Much like here at What You've Been Watching podcast.
Welcome to the Great Ideas, Poor Execution podcast.
Well, it's also, and to your point as well, you're 1,000% correct in the idea of they see the picture, they have no idea what to do to get there.
Yeah.
They're then also cursed with the knowledge in the first movie that they do it.
Right.
Which plays a major role in the third movie about... well, we'll get there in a minute. Okay. But yeah, it plays a major role in the third movie.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But no, I mean, you're 100% right, though. I guess I don't really have anywhere to pivot off of that, so you just want to go on to our next point we were going to make? Or you said it very well, though. But yeah, I mean, they are cursed with the knowledge of not only they want to be a good band, but I mean, they then know that, like, yeah, you actually do become not the most influential people of all time.
You cause world peace and also, like, intergalactic harmony.
Yeah, which is wild. Which part of that is the time travel logic of this movie. The first movie alone, every other movie, not every other movie, but a lot of movies play with time travel with these, not only the most strict of rules, but also it's so serious. Even like Back to the Future, it's like, you can't kill, don't do nothing. And then, you go to Terminator 2, it's like you travel back in time and you have to kill the person and then it changes the future. And these two guys...
in terms of like Marty, you can't fuck your mom, but also like you can show up at the dance and kind of flirt with your mom, but also like you shouldn't interact, but also, like there's very like, once you change the past... It completely alters the future.
Well, other movies just treat time travel
like
as...
Time Cop. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. But they just treat it as it's so fragile.
Right.
And in this movie, it's a giant sandbox that these two guys get to play in and be like, hey, you want to go get people to help us with our history exam? Like, it's such a fresh take on it that
let's literally pluck people out of history to come tell us what they think about San Dimas, which is the whole point of the report.
And they again, they're not necessarily dim-witted. They may stumble across it, but even the idea of them going like, I have to remember to hide a key later, right? Remember to put the trash can.
Oh, right. To break out of the prison. They're like, we have to steal my dad's keys and then hide them here. Well, how do we know we did it? And then he just reaches up and he's like, because they're here, dude.
You already did it. Yeah. So again, they're cursed with this knowledge of knowing that they're going to succeed. And
I like it. Yeah.
They can just stumble their way forward in through any scenario, which again is so fragile all the time. Travel rules, and in this one they're just like, all right, which is just fun to see again. Them enjoying themselves.
We kind of talked about heroes enjoying being heroes. Like the life I get to lead is pretty cool, so let's see how far we can take this.
Right, and the whole idea of them like, oh, we'll have to remember to hide a key later. It's actually clever, but it's really. It's the Occam's razor of time travel. It's like, well, if you do it in the future and then set it here now, like it's
obviously you did it.
You already did it. Right. So it's kind of this like simple answer for really complex stuff.
I love how
they wink and a smile at it, like eh.
Yeah, I love how they give little subtle hints throughout the entire beginning of the movie where like Ted's dad is looking for like, I can't find my keys. Did you just take my keys? He's like, no, dude, I have no idea. Like. And that plays out throughout the entire thing until finally it comes to a head. And then even to the point where it gets ridiculous where like they literally throw a trash can over the cop's head. Yeah. And they're like, well, we just got to remember to stop by at this exact moment and rig up the trash can to fall. And then right then on cue, a trash can falls on the guy's head, and he does the like,
the guitar.
And then the guy does the Buster Keaton thing of like, I've never had a trash can on my head before. How do I get my arms out of here?
It was really past the forearm, so he was stuck for life. That was actually a really serious.
He died actually.
Medical emergency. The actor were saying, like it was tragedy. Yeah. Bill and Ted really got that guy.
Yeah. That's why they couldn't have the ASPCA at the end, like no animals were harmed.
Right. Speaking of which, though, we'll talk about the evolution of the sequels. Most franchises, they repeat the movie's first formula. And with Bogus Journey, they did the opposite. It's this very dark, weird trip through hell with like
Yeah.
a fever induced. Like it kind of creeped me out actually as a kid when I remember watching it and not liking that movie as much as I did Excellent, just because it's more whimsy in Excellent. But
Okay.
as an adult, I kind of appreciate it more. But it is still it gets pretty dark actually. And not only
very.
now are they playing with time, but
I mean, they literally kill Bill and Ted. Like evil robots from the future assimilate their life and murder them, and then proceed to ruin their lives.
yeah. So you get more than just a
We
trip.
used to be dicks, but now we're metal. So get over here and put out.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
And I love that the little guitar thing that they do, like it's the same riff, but it's just dropped down to like Dave Navarro, like meh, 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 meh.
Yeah, little subtleties there. Yeah,
Or not Dave, no, Kirk Hammett. Sorry.
Yeah. They drop the octaves or whatever. But yeah, it's so in the sequels they then play with not only time travel but then the afterlife itself, and they get heaven and what was his oh my god, what was the scientist's name?
Station.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Drew. Yeah, they kind of pivot out tonally, and I never liked the second one quite as much, especially as a kid. They actually, like I said, kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I really think that the second one is the superior movie.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is this you being a contrarian and just trying to find the against the grain answer, or do you like heart of heart?
No, I really do. I would compare it to, I think that Excellent Adventure is sort of like the Garage Tapes series.
I really thought this through.
Yeah. And then I think that Bogus Journey is like the polished studio recordings. You know, I think
That's fair.
I think that they do a lot more in terms of, okay, yes, they go back in time, they this, that, the other, but the time that they spend going back in time, except for the medieval scene where they meet the princess babes, they're only in that space of time for a very, very short sequence. You know,
Okay, that's true.
In fact, most of the movie doesn't really pick up until they bring everybody back to San Dimas, and it mostly takes place in the modern time. Whereas in Bogus Journey, I mean, there's these elaborate sets of not only, you know, the Bill and Ted University in the future. There's, you know, a hell sequence that's very, very much looks like something that Tim Burton would do. You know.
Yeah, you get a bad rap, but you're an all right dude.
Yeah. The heaven sequence where they go to heaven and there's all the different costumes and all the different historical figures, and it's Einstein playing 20 questions with Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that. I think they do a lot more in the second movie. I mean, for God's sake, they literally face off against death in several games of chance, and it's just literally an Ingmar Bergman reference from The Seventh Seal.
Okay.
Where what's his name? Not Christoph Waltz. Max von Sydow.
Okay.
Plays. He tries to cheat death in terms of games of chance. And the image that they use for death in this movie is a direct reference to that, which is brilliant.
Okay, I give you that. And pardon me if I didn't mean to offend your integrity by asking, because I know sometimes in this family people will take a contrarian take and then they'll do the thing which can be annoying in some circles where it's like I want this to be my answer, so then I'm going to find a bunch of cause to make my answer. You know what I mean? And it's like,
this is not the Bracket Busters.
Yeah. Okay. That was my fear. I was like, are we being just contrarian? Be like, let me explain why. Like, do you really think?
No, I really do. I get more joy out of watching Bogus Journey than I do Excellent Adventure.
See, I'm the opposite. I think, again, the movie only picks up when they return back and they have Station with them, in my opinion. I do like the look of, because we don't really know much about the future. We see a little bit of George Carlin, and then he just gets sent on his mission, and that's about it. Right. The fashion choice is one thing. But then in Bogus, you do actually get a little look at the future and how it's not quite all as smooth as is. There's still some people with, which is just kind of funny. The one guy's like, we don't have to listen to these two idiots if I go back in time.
That's right. What's his name? Dinamopoulos?
Yeah. Which, again, that's the whole point of Bill and Ted. It's they're not cruel, they're not anything. They genuinely, their whole philosophy, it's like through music, it's they conquer the world not via
politics
or war.
Yeah.
It's just being excellent to one another.
Yeah.
It's like,
and party on, like have a good time, but also don't be a dick, you know,
Yeah.
and you're right. I think that is sort of why their legacy has lasted for so long, because it is this really interesting middle between, it's a buddy comedy, but it's not cynical, it's not satire, it's actually really kind of hopeful in terms of like two best friends who just believe in each other can literally conquer the universe.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing else.
Or bring about global harmony.
I mean, that's still, again, why it kind of works. And
We've
again,
been to the past, we've been to the future, and we've been all around the afterlife. And what we found is this: always be excellent to each other.
That's right.
And party on, dudes.
That's right. We should have ended the show just there.
Ah, shit. Well, thank you. What?
Yeah. No, but
Go watch a movie.
No, but the other thing that's different about them is that in so many of those, so much conflict comes from the separation of the duo, where it's like, oh, we have hit an impasse where we have a philosophical difference in terms of how to proceed, right? Or there was a wrong that has been found out and a betrayal has taken place because, oh, well, you don't understand, I did that. A lot of TV shows are like Gossip Girl are like that, like a betrayal happens, but I've come around, now you're my friend, and it's like, oh, you were sad.
I only did it because I love you.
Yeah, or I didn't know you, or whatever. In these, they don't argue. They're friends the entire time.
Yeah.
There's
solid bros.
Yeah, and so it's kind of different in the fact that the conflict doesn't come from betwixt them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which a lot of movies do that. It's like, one person, oh, well, I can do this on my own. Even the Ninja Turtles were like, Raphael, I'll just go do it on my own. Right. And then they realize, and Leonardo's
leaving you guys. I gotta go find my own path. I found this girl named Miriam, and I think there's a chance.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think she might be the one.
She might be the one. Fast forward 45 years later. Anyways, that character's awesome. I will say really quick though, the third one, it took them a long time to do, and part of it was because both Alex Winters and Keanu Reeves, both Bill and Ted, had said that they would love to come back and do the characters, but they didn't want to do it just to do it.
Right.
They wanted the script to be right, and they even turned down a lot of times because they didn't want them to come back and act the same at 50 years old. They didn't want them to just be like, oh, well, you're 50 and you're the same idiots.
Right.
It's
still trying to make the band, still living in your parents' basement, still, all that.
Yeah, and so with Face the Music, it becomes focused on this anxiety of this being middle-aged, and again, being cursed with this knowledge of the fact that that you're supposed to write a song that unites the world, and you are further away from it than when you were, you know what I mean? So when does this happen? Now you have kids, now you're, you know what I mean? Like,
it's historically proven that you are going to unify the world and bring about galactic harmony, and yet also you're kind of just struggling to make the band together and get a new gig, and also how do we pay the rent? And also, our daughters don't kind of respect us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and it's what happens when two optimistic dreamers hit middle age and realize they haven't fulfilled their destiny yet, and the struggle of
this
that.
feels really real right now. I gotta be honest with you, Marcus. I don't like this at all.
And so I remember the third one when I watched it via COVID times. It went video to demand, and I remember watching it the week it came out and walking away going like, I don't know, it wasn't that good, and Angie going, they're not supposed to be good, and I felt so like, you know what, you're right, and then it made me.
Did you just try to say what I was trying to say, but smarter?
It made me feel like you're right, they're not supposed to be like, but then I thought like, did I have fun watching it? Did I have fun revisiting these characters after all these years? Yes. Also, shout out to Alex Winters for playing his own grandmother in Bogus Journey. I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, "Give Grandma a kiss." That's a weird scene with the bunny rabbit coming down the hall.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Bogus,
Grandma Preston Esquire. Yeah. Bogus.
The other thing I wanted to say about Bogus before I get back to the happy ending that is 3. That staff sergeant that Bill or that Ted's father wants to send him to.
Oh yeah, not McHale. What's his name? But yeah. He wants to send him to the Alaskan military school.
That guy wants to fuck those kids. Let's be real. The way he talks to him in that party, he's like licking his chops over these two young men.
Can't wait to get my hands on such fine young boys as you.
Yeah, dude. The fact that he just does that.
Back up, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
Get the
dude,
fuck off me. I'm 17.
I saw that now, like just a week or so ago, watching that with that lens. I'm like, he's doing this right in front of the dad and everything. Like, hold up. I'd be like, hold on. What are your intentions with my son here? I get fired up about the military too, but this seems oddly personal. Like,
why do you have baby oil in your back pocket?
Yeah, why are we going to Alaska?
Is that a military issue?
Yeah, it's kind of weird though. I'll be honest with you. That kind of freaked me out. But the happy ending of 3 though,
it's not KY, it's KP.
It's stupid. That's just a good joke. Oh man. All right. But no, the happy ending of 3, it was nice to see them stick the landing. 3 had a lot of heart to it. And I appreciated that. And the fact of I did want to see these heroes get, which they are heroes.
Yeah.
The ending that they deserve, in which they do unite the world. And it wasn't because there was a catastrophe coming. And the only thing that they could do was they had to get literally the entire world to pick up instruments and play. All at once, all in unison, which seems far-fetched, but the idea of like, well, how, one song's just going to break through. And it's like, no, they literally united the world with the very song that they wrote.
With one song.
With everyone, they needed everyone in order to save the day. And they were, because they were at the tip of that spear, they understand the power of it all. And it was kind of like, there really was no other way for them to reach that conclusion. So all of a sudden at 50, they go, we got it. And they just step in and, because, even
I've finally written the right lyrics. Like, well, I came up with the perfect guitar riff. Like, yeah, that doesn't work.
Because George Carlin even said, like, I can't do it for you. Yeah. He said that so many, I can't do it for you.
Which, by the way, the fact that they pivoted from George Carlin, who was phenomenal in that role of Rufus in terms of being like the guiding light, somebody who is so counterculture, but also so respected and well known because he's so articulate and so, I hate to say erudite, but like
in a sense,
he's
a bit snobbish,
a little bit snobbish, but
snobbish,
but also like, yes, he's snobbish and a little bit, but prove him wrong kind of thing, to cast him as the Obi-Wan Kenobi in terms of like, so counterculture, but also so in tune with what's going on around him. And then to pivot from that into Christian Shaw, who to pass off in terms of we're never going to get George Carlin back. I'm the next best thing.
I didn't mind it again.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does.
I'm not trying to slight Christian Shaw.
No. Well, also, you understand, she also, in terms of comedy, she's marched to the beat of her own drum for her entire career.
Yes.
She has done off the wall, what they call alternative comedy, which was really big. And, back when I was in like late high school or, early college years or whatever, like the Demetri Martins of the world. And like, she's always been off the wall.
Yeah.
And she is and very much so. So
her mind works like in a very George Carlin sense, her mind works very differently.
Hers
than
isn't,
people.
I wouldn't say is as poignant, but it is
cynical.
Yeah, but so I had no problem with that. And again, you just have to accept the fact that like you're stepping in to fill in for the late great George Carlin, who don't try to do him, do your thing, right? And she did her thing. So I really liked it. It had a lot of heart. I was surprised by that, and a lot of times when these sequels come out, you're just like, really? Like, you're 20 years too late. And this one I really didn't bump into it. I was curious to see where these characters
Gladiator
were.
2, I kind of felt that way. I was like, all right, had you guys done this like 10 years after, I could see it, but 25 years later?
Yeah, even Dumb and Dumber 2, there was a couple good jokes that still felt within the spirit, but it was just like, These two, again, they were very adamant about the fact that, like, we want to play them as middle-aged men. We don't want to be teenage, 50-year-old. That's not going to play. And they were smart for doing that. There's still flavors of it in there. And,
in terms of there's still the same idiots that they were in high school, but now just with more responsibility and more understanding of their place in the world.
They've had to hide their light because of the world, which is what we all do. We all have these, like, believe me, Michael and I don't want to go to work. We'd love the podcast. Whatever your light is, I'd like to do music. I'd like to, you know what I mean? Whatever that passion that you have is, you're forced to, I know in the religious terms that talk about hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine.
Right,
but like,
right.
But, you know, we all have to do that just to because of the necessity of it.
We have to go through the drudgery of the days in the hopes that we can achieve our dreams.
Right, and to see these two who are like, we're further away from achieving this dream than we ever were,
and we know we're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
and so it's a double burden in terms of like, yo, Ted, we were supposed to unite the world and bring about galactic harmony. What are we doing with our lives?
And again, to have the entire world do
we're
it,
out here throat singing.
Right, right. And the idea that that again, the movie won't work if George Carlin just shows in and goes, "Oh yeah, you're about to run into some hard times, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it for you because you're so important."
Here's the lyrics.
Yeah, and he literally said, and even just saving the day from the first history class that they need to pass to whether it be in bogus to like he in so many words, I can't do it for you.
Right.
It has to be you, right? And
it's almost a way to remove the Deus ex machina in terms of like all it would take is just somebody from the future with knowledge of how it works out to give them a written list of things they need to do. Like, okay, so first you guys need to do this, and then pass your class, and then here's all the lyrics for your hit album that's going to unite the world. Just give them the album, you know, just pass them the CD or the digital MP3 or whatever the futuristic technology is. Like, oh, here's a dosium recorder to play this crystalline music, like whatever. But he doesn't do that. And it's so easy to just be like, here's the path, but you guys aren't going to get it unless you go through the things to get there.
It's the enlightenment of... It's like in Constantine when he says, he's like, oh, you believe. He's like, no, I don't believe. I know there's a difference.
Right.
And like these guys, it is the journey. It is the bogus journey that they had to go through to get there in the end. In terms of, we've played with time itself. We've overcome life and death. We've constantly in this process tried to do the right thing. They do see the bigger picture, and it is as simple as they make it. Dude, just be nice to one another. Yeah. Like, don't be a dick.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it really is. So
have a good time. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. So with
Party on and always be excellent to each other. Like it's the simplest of metaphysical or existential theory is just do your part and do no harm.
Yeah. And these guys know it too. That's the thing. They know what it is. They've asked the meaning of life, and they've come back and chose to be the way that they are.
Right.
And so again, man, nobody can get them off their pivot foot. You know what I mean? Like they are Bill and Ted through and through. And again, that's the wholesome part about it all is to bring it back full circle. They're not jerks. They genuinely are good dudes who respect time, respect what's going on around them, and just want the world to be a better place. So there is a lot to learn from Bill and Ted, and we felt that this would be the appropriate thing to dive into, given as silly as these movies are, the overarching theme that they do pretty much punch you in the face with from the first movie and go, no, it really is this simple.
Yeah.
And given these trying times, let's not lose sight of that.
Even these idiots have figured it out. Like, just, be cool and try to have a good time as much as possible.
So, hell yeah, man. Well, so that'll wrap up our discussion. You want to rate the Bill and Ted trilogy? Or I think we've said enough, man.
I think it can easily be surmised in terms of Bill and Ted, and you and I both have the same philosophy in terms of have a good time and then talk about it and just try your best, man.
Yeah. Like, be excellent to one another.
Always be excellent to one another and party on, dudes.
Hell yeah, man. Well, on that note, thank you for joining us for our anniversary episode. We look forward to crossing some mediums here. I know we say that a lot, but just please stick with us. Again, if you've made it this far in the audio, wherever it is, man, like, subscribe, whatever you got to do, drop a 5-star review, whatever, man. It really does help. And we do hate to pander and plead, but follow us on YouTube. Again, when we get a certain amount of subscribers, we can start doing some pretty cool things. So check us out there at WBW Podcast. Always write us in at What You Been Watching Podcast.
That's right.
At gmail.com.
We got big things coming in the next year, man. So here's to you, brother. Love you.
Cheers to you, man. Love you too. In that time, in the meantime, and in between time, go watch a movie.
And always be excellent to each other.